Greetings, welcome back. I was hoping today to send a message of support to all the prominent Jewish figures who are railing against this insanity that's unfolding around the world, particularly the likes of Max Blumenthal, Dave Smith, Finkelstein, Brett Weinstein, and I will get to that eventually. But what's become more heavily weighted on my mind is the bitter disappointment with the freedom movement on this particular issue. Now, I had smirked a little at the beginning of this that this was going to be the end of intersectionality. I did not see this coming as the end of the freedom movement, but God, I mean, the biggest disappointments as an Australian libertarian have been John Ruddick, who, after giving an incredible speech in the New South Wales Parliament, the first to be censored off YouTube, dogged Zionist, go for it, spend taxpayer money on guns and bombs. Disgusting, disgraceful. I feel like I've really, by the little promotion I've done for the man, I feel tainted, and yeah, it's just not on. And the other big disappointment is Topher fucking Field, man. How can you do this? How can you make battleground Melbourne, and then not see something of ourselves in the Gazans? I mean, you called it a war. You got shot at by the state for exercising your rights. I mean, either you're completely ignorant to the last 150 years, and I'm not going to go back to biblical times, because if we're going back to biblical times, well, the Jews lost their homeland a long fucking time ago, okay? So I'm just talking the last 300 years, and how Gaza was not just a colonial experiment, but a deliberate setting of the dogs upon each other. When you have T. Lawrence bringing the Arabs in from the southeast, whilst England's promising it to the Jews at the same time. What the fuck did people think was going to happen? I mean, it comes down to property rights. England had no right to grant this shit to the Jewish state, and the Jewish state, after World War II, which we fought and sent our young men off to die for because people stole other people's country. The establishment of Israel after World War II is a glaring fault line in the United Nations, in everything that's come since. Start as you mean to go on, as they say in the military these days. Well, how did we mean to go on there? I think things are actually running 100% according to plan. And the American Masons never really got out from under British Freemasonry. And this is all Cecil Rhodes and the Royal Society just carving up the world for profit like they do. They love to draw a line around two groups of people who don't get along because there's profit in that. This is why Rwanda happened. Australia has a taint of this. America has a taint of this. Every time the Brits come in and draw a line around two tribes, whether it's settlers and natives, whether it's two warring religions, or just an old tribal feud, they love to come in and redraw the country so that those two groups are penned in together and at each other's throat from the jump. Because then you can have martial law in one form or another. Colonial regulars, police state, pandemic lockdown, pick your flavor. It's all the same. It's the panopticon. And the men behind the slats in their royal finery want to run the whole world this way. That's why they set up the WEF. That's why the World Wildlife Foundation was set up by the same people. They're trying to turn all of the countryside back into the King's Reserve, put the peons in boxes, feed them on crickets, and everyone's a poacher unless they're doing what they're told and is able to be shot on sight. This is neo-feudalism. We're going back to something pre-feudalist. This is pharaonic. This is Persian Empire shit. Okay? The struggle for liberty has been about man realizing he has the right to self-determination despite what men with badges and funny hats tell them. That's the whole point of this. You can scrap your Rothbard and all of that down. Fundamentally, it's about destroying crowns. Freedom is about destroying crowns. Okay? That's it. If you want it in a sentence, there shall be no kings. No man should have a master, save his God if he chooses. So yeah, I'm calling out Topher Field specifically, but anyone else who looked like a freedom fighter but was just a conservative who happened to find themselves on the wrong side of the state for once. You guys can all get fucked if you don't learn a lesson from this, and I'm going to actively have to character assassinate, whatever it takes, to get rid of you guys. Because to co-opt this is crazy. I don't stand for Israel or Palestine. I stand for all the innocent people being blown up for profit. God. Libertarians picking which state whose boots they want to lick. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Okay, well, peace, love, and kung fu. It's hard. It's hard. But that's the challenge. Being a man or a woman or an adult human being is simply overcoming your instincts. That's your original sin. You're born in a meat body with horrible desires. The ones that always take the easy way out because it's energy efficient and we're an organism. Okay? But if you let that decide your behavior, you are not a man. You have failed the Gom Jabbar. You have failed your jihad. You have failed your path to enlightenment because you let your base instinct rule. And just because we're much more sophisticated than a caveman with a club doesn't mean it's not the exact same fucking thing. You can put a few legal blinders in there and shell companies. It's all the same thing. It all winds back down to the same thing. People treating other people and their property as their own. It's about destroying the concept of a master. That's what liberty is. Liberation from what? We can't be free of the natural world. We can use our tools to mitigate nature. But what we can be free of is our base nature making the decisions for us. Otherwise, we might as well go back to slavery. It's less destructive. Anyway, rant over. I'm on Twitter, BlackEye808. Yeah, thank God there's some interesting shit out there. Otherwise, what are we living for? This is crazy. This is crazy. It's got to stop. It's got to stop because if it doesn't stop now, it won't ever stop. They'll have a worldwide war. They'll have everything that the Great Reset promised because it'll be wartime. Loose-link sink ships. Where's your ID? Are you allowed to be here? You've exceeded your ration. It's going to be so easy if we let them pull World War III. So let's not get involved in imaginary ancient squabbles because they are imaginary at this point. This is not a continuous war from biblical times. That's a fucking ridiculous Zionist lie. Okay? And if you choose to believe it, that's up to you. But at some point, those of us who don't want our sons drafted and our gold stolen will have to fight you in the street. Okay? So think about what you spout. Black Eye out.